Hey y'all, here I am giving y'all some advice today. I'm giving y'all little tips. I've been having a lot of people inbox me and they want to know why is it so hard out here to be away from family. You got to think about it. This is something that you're getting into. You don't know too much about being at sea. So you're out here, you're working with different people, different cultures, different attitudes, different types of people. You know, you're meeting different people every day. Even the people that's coming on your ship, maybe sometimes to do a little work, or people that you'll actually be working with. It's not easy because this is something new to you. So you come out here to be a merchant mariner, know you're not going to make six figures coming right out the gate, because you need to know your job. You need to know exactly what you're getting into. You need to know your chain of command, know who to report to. You know, when you're in the engine room, you come out here as a wiper. So you need to make sure you are acclimated with your immediate supervisor, who usually sometimes is like the first engineer. You'll work one-on-one with all of the engineers, and everybody will. I mean, if you're a teachable person, you'll learn a lot out here. As far as in the galley, you will be a SA or SU. You will work with your steward. You'll work with the other galley hands that are here. You know, you just work with everybody who works in the galley. As far as deck department, the deck department, over the deck department, you have the bosun mate. The bosun is the one that assigns the jobs. He's over the deck department. So you listen to him. That's your immediate supervisor. And then over him, you know, you go to the captain. If there's any issues when you're out here, you always want to make sure you report to your immediate supervisor first. You know, don't try to take matters in your own hands because anything can happen out here. You're out here, you're working on the water. You're on a moving vessel that's always moving unless you're in port. And you know you want to make sure you're putting on your safety gear when you're out here. Make sure you always have your hard hat on if you're going in on the deck. Make sure your gloves, make sure you have your steel toe boots, no matter what you're doing. It's just, you know, it's a sacrifice out here. Just think about it. You're going to miss a lot of birthdays. You're going to miss parties. You're going to miss graduations. You're going to miss, you know what I'm saying? The important things like graduations and birthdays and, you know, childbirth. You're going to miss some of that stuff because you're making a sacrifice out here to change your life. This is not a paycheck to paycheck type job. This job, you always make sure you have a little money depending on how your spending is. A lot of people save a lot of money because think about it, I'm at sea, I can't go shopping, but that doesn't stop people from shopping online, or, you know what I'm saying? When you're out here, you need to make sure you're focused. You're in work mode when you're out here. You come out here to work. You didn't come out here to play. So, you know, handle your business. Take care of your bills at home. Set things up when they're coming out automatic so you won't see it. Make sure you're putting money in your savings account. You know what I'm saying? You got to be smart out here because you don't want to blow all your money once you get home. So you want to make sure you have money on you. You're making this sacrifice to change your life. You know, I was micromanaged. I worked at the Mayo Clinic. I was micromanaged real bad for when we got our new supervisor. We did not get along at all. She micromanaged us. We had to let her know when we went to the bathroom or if we were getting up to go get something off the printer. She was just that type of manager. And that's what made me want to change. I always wanted to be a sailor. I actually wanted to go in the military first, you know, but getting advice from my dad. My dad is ex-Army, so it's just like, you know, he was like, well, D, maybe you need to find something that's more suitable for you, that's, you know, more flexible with your schedule. You know, in the event something happens, you can get off the boat. So I looked into being a merchant mariner, and here I am almost 8 years later. So this is a career. This is not just a job, but a lot of people can't handle being away from home, you know. And if you can't handle that, if everything that goes on, if you're going to let it take a toll on you when you're out here in the boat, you might want to change professions. You have to have thick skin out here. You can't let any and everything get to you. A lot of people don't know how to handle that. And, you know, it may take you a while to get there, even the seasickness or, you know, just getting used to constantly rocking and rolling. You know, sometimes you don't feel it. Sometimes you do feel it. It's an adjustment. Just think about it. You're usually home eating whatever you want to eat. You come out here on the boat, you have to eat what they have here. If you don't like what they have, just always salad. They may have little knickknacks and snacks here, but when you're able to pull in the port, when your ship is docked, you can get off and get what you want. Make sure you have enough of what you need. You know, make sure you have more than enough your necessities or your toiletries that you have. Most ships have all of the stuff on there, but think about it. They have what they have for the ship. You may not like some of the stuff they use. You may not like the soap that they have on the boat. So make sure you have what you need while you're out here. This is your job now. You live here, you eat here, you sleep here. You know, this is, you know, and every job is different. The deck department, you know, you got your watchstanders and your maintenance people. Watchstanders are going to be on the bridge. Your maintenance people are usually the ones on deck, chipping, painting. Excuse me. On the forklifts. separating trash, moving things with the crane. It just depends what company you work for and what your job actually is. Galley, you're going to help with food. You're in the galley. You're going to help chop up fruits and veggies for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're also going to restock. So any condiments that you need might run out of ranch. You need to make sure the ranch is there to be refilled. Ketchup, mustard, you're going to make sure the cups and plates and silverware are in place where they're supposed to be for each meal, each for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and you always have a little something out for a snack. If you're in the engine room as a wiper, you are entry level, so you need to make sure you know what you're doing. You're always going to be with someone like an engineer. They're going to help you walk through the QMEs, whatever the need is for. You guys will be there. So you have to get yourself ready to work. You can't come out here playing. You may have to work the sunrise schedule. You may be overnights. You just have to be prepared for it all, because this is a choice that you made. So whatever time is available, that's what you'll be doing. You have to adjust. You will adjust. They have gyms here on the ship. You will be able to go to the gym. You have their time off to do what you need to do. Talk on the phone, call your grandma, call your boyfriend, call your girlfriend. You'll have that time to do that. You just have to get yourself scheduled, and you have to. Now I made this sacrifice. I want to be a merchant mariner. Now you have to do what entails of being a merchant mariner. You have to answer to somebody, just like when you're on your regular job. You had a supervisor answer to. You have to do the same here. Know your chain of command. Know your station, where your station bill is. Know what you're doing on the station bill. Know where your muster station is. If anything happens, to anybody on, like your neighbors, what I'm saying, you want to make sure everybody is out. If in the event something does happen, even you do a lot of training out here. Most ships do their trainings on Sundays. They do their drills on Sundays. So everybody has to participate in that. Whether you just got off work, whether you're going into work, whether you're at lunch, it's all going to happen together. Most ships will let you know that we have drills on Sunday. Some of them won't. They do, they just do them random, but you have to be ready at all times, because anything can happen out here. So it's not as easy as people think it is. It's hard work out here, but so it's worth it in the long run, because you think about it, you made that sacrifice to become a merchant mariner, and now look, I went through to being an ordinary seaman to now I'm a able seaman. I went through being an AB special to now I'm AB limited. I'm working on my AB unlimited, and then from there, if you want to move up to be a mate, you can, but it just depends on what company you work for. A lot of people get discouraged because they fill in our applications and nobody is calling them back. But you have a TWIC card. With your TWIC card, you can work inland. You can go to these inland jobs and only require a TWIC to be there. They even have fishery boats now that you don't need any of that. If you want the experience to go ahead and go, they will send for you to come. You make the money. They're paying you cash. You know what I'm saying? Tax-free money, if that's what you want to do. We'll get into that later. But as far as your TWIC card, it's an advantage to have a TWIC card. There are things you can do with a TWIC card. I didn't know that I can do it. If I had known that, I would have been using my TWIC card to get that experience before I actually went deep sea. Deep sea is where it is, though. You work 120 days with the union, you're going to get a vacation check with the union. And you're going to collect unemployment. So when you collect that unemployment, if you work on a huge vessel, but your vessel is based out of Norfolk, Virginia, that's where you go to file your unemployment. If you're on a vessel and it's based out of San Diego, California, that's where you go to get your unemployment. Every state is different. You get a lot of money from the unemployment with the different states that you work in. So you want that need to be something that You also, a lot of ships have like the ship T-shirts. I always wear my ship T-shirts. They have T-shirts that you can purchase, hats you can purchase. They have the merchandise. And soon enough, I'll be selling my sailor merchandise for mariners too. So you'll be able to order from me. But it's things out here. You want to make sure that you have socks. You want to make sure you have the steel toes. You want to make sure when you're doing drills that you have long sleeve shirts on. You want to make sure you have a hat on your head, because you never know what can happen. You always want to be protected. So make sure you're 2 steps ahead at all times. When you're on these ships, you may share rooms. You may not share rooms, but in the event that you don't share a room, the walls are thin, so you got to be mindful of who's around you. On my ship, I'm in the middle. I have somebody on the left side and the right side of me. Yes, you will hear them snoring. Yes, you can hear their fan running. Yes, you can hear them talk on the phone. You can hear their TV sometimes. It's okay to tap on the wall or get out your bed and go knock on the door and ask them to turn it down. That's what you do. You just be nice about it. Don't have to be mean about it. Even if they got the music up loud, hey, with me, I have my I know where I'm sleeping in between. I don't always know who's on the left side, but who y'all know who's on the right side. I'm sorry, but I know who's on the left side. So I'll text her and say, hey, can you turn that down? Just you don't have to do everything with attitude. A lot of people are, you don't want to make somebody mad because it's not that serious. All you have to do is just, be regular. I mean, a lot of people, as far as mental health, you don't know what somebody's mental state is, so you have to be mindful about that because you're dealing with a different cultures, different religions out here. You don't want to be disrespectful to nobody, so you just have to put all that stuff in mind when you're out here, taking into consideration for other people, because you don't know what they're dealing with. So my thing is, when I'm at sea, I'm in work mode. I don't have time for nothing back at home. If it's anything that you can avoid telling me, like my family, I tell them that all the time. If it's not that bad, if it's not something, nobody's crashing out or nobody got in an accident and stuff like that. If something that nobody can control, keep that till I get off the boat. If it's something that's dealing with grandma's health, my mom or something like that, yes, I need to know that kind of stuff because I need to know what action I need to take. But as far as little stuff that I can wait until I get home, yes, let's wait till I get home. Because you don't want somebody to constantly tell you that something happened. Then you'll be ready to go home. You'll forget where you are. You don't want to work no more because you got to get off this ship to get back home to take care. You don't need that. You don't need that on you. So just be mindful of that, Stay in work mode. When I'm here, I don't drink when I'm at sea. I may sip wine here at home, but when I'm on ship mode, work mode, I don't do any of that. Because you have to know your surroundings and just think about nobody on this boat know me where I'm going. That's why I think about it. I don't know nobody on this boat when I'm going out here. So I don't want to be caught in the crossfire of getting into it with somebody because I had too much to drink, getting into it with somebody on the boat because I had too much to drink. You don't want to do that. You always want to stay in work mode because out here you must set the tone for yourself. That goes for male and female. Set the tone. Let them know, hey, I'm here to work. Whatever you need me to do, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You act accordingly when you're out here on these boats, and you have to treat people with respect. Even though sometimes you can look through a person and you can already know what type of person they are because you can see through them because some of us have that spirit of discernment. But you still have to treat people with kindness, whether they speak, whether they yell and all that. Never, you have to control your emotions out here because you don't want to lose your job behind some BS. And some people will push you to the limit, but you don't want to do that. So I'm just giving y'all these tips because I didn't have all this. I didn't have anybody giving me tips, telling me, which way to go and all that. I learned this on my own, so I'm giving that information to you guys because I'm not a gatekeeper. I do go live every day on my TikTok page at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I always give information, whether it's job information, whether it's just giving you all some information that you need to know or information that I didn't need to know. I go with a panel, so my panel can answer some of those questions too. But stay tuned in. I just want to make sure I give you all these tips while they're on my mind. But until next time, peace out.